AI video has been exploding recently.
About to do the first plunge into an active volcano.
We've been flooded with these 5-second clips which are technically impeccable.
Betty bought butter, but the butter's bitter, so Betty bought better butter to make the bitter butter better.
Realistic, sometimes funny.
We spent $50 million to rebuild the Titanic, just to sink it again. Last person to abandon ship gets a Lambo.
But you rarely see a longer story with consistent characters that you can care about. Something to immerse yourself in.
Get your ass up!
However, to prove to you that it is possible to make a short film using AI video today, I found some incredibly impressive examples.
Recent studies have revealed that microplastics are being found in human testicles, raising concerns
You can never
about the
trust these
potential impact
studies.
on male reproductive health.
Who's hungry?
That's it. Keep going.
Well, you're so lucky he's naturally buoyant and you don't have to watch him. Is it Bob?
No, he doesn't need sunscreen or anything. He just gets softer as he warms up.
Bob, you're leaking.
Bob can't play. If he gets hit, he'll dent.
Don't let plastic end up in landfills. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
This is an actual story. You could imagine this being a sketch for Saturday Night Live. I see this tech really elevating the creations that are so time constrained. Imagine SNL cast, when they have to create something, they write it on a Monday and a Tuesday, then rehearse it, and then they have one day to shoot and produce a sketch, which is really not a lot of time. And they wouldn't have been able to create a video like this easily. Whereas now, they can come up with completely new ideas and do them weekly. This is the part that people forget, that some shows have very short production timelines, and it would be incredibly useful for them to put visual effects. If you were to do this manually, this film would have taken months and months on end to actually nail down. What helps to sell the illusion of this being the same character is the fact that he grows up. So we don't really have immediate references from the same time period, making the illusion more seamless and believable as a kid made out of plastic bottles can get. But from the storytelling perspective, you could see the elements that make you care about that character. He's going through those life-defining moments that we can all relate to. When you do something embarrassing at school, when you are not selected for a sports team, all of these elements make him seem more human. Obviously, that's because the storyline comes from the human, from the director who actually made it happen. So no, this is not AI making a film. This is a human who is empowered by the AI tool to make the film that moves others. And if I didn't tell you that this was made with AI and this guy just did this with classical visual effects, people would react to this movie as a really cool piece of storytelling. Whereas now, some people are gonna dismiss it off like, oh, this is AI slop, I don't wanna watch this. Why? This video would have probably never been made if it wasn't for this technology, because somebody wouldn't have spent weeks and weeks on end to explore an idea that might not really work in the end. Now you can make something in a day and see, oh, do I want to expand on this? Do I want to explore this story, this universe? Do I want to explore these characters? It helps you to take the seed of an idea into a more finished product, which you can discard or keep iterating on. The creator of this piece, MetaPuppet, said in the description of the video that he got really immersed in the process. He liked exploring where is the story going to go next. These tools enable that rapid exploration of ideas. He decided that this film was getting a little bit too dark at the end, so he completely switched it.
What the hell was that?
That's the new commercial for plastic. We think if we humanize plastic, people won't think it's so bad.
Who?
Bob from marketing!
It became a meta approach to making a commercial, and then it descended into just utter chaos.
Cover me, I'll get to the side. I can't believe this is happening. Here they come.
Get down, get down!
It's Bob from marketing.
Get down!
This is a film from Wall Street Journal. I'm not going to show the full thing, so please go to the creators and actually watch their films. But here I'm going to react to specific moments that make it work as a story.
Rise and shine, Joanna. It's 6:15 a.m. It's going to be a great day. Oh, you'll feel better after a workout. I've sanitized your sports bra.
I got the Optimax 5000 to make my life better. It has me waking up early.
Here's a tasty breakfast.
Eating healthy.
All the scenes so far are really consistent from shot to shot, and this is crucial for believable world building.
I'm working out harder than I ever thought I could.
Remember, Jane Fonda always said, go for the burn, sweat. Get that chin up.
We design them to optimize workplace efficiency.
The doctor himself doesn't look realistic at all. This is because they're using a motion capture technology from Runway called Act 1.
What? You're gonna fire me because there's hot milk everywhere on the floor of the coffee shop? I mean, it's one latte. It's not that big of a deal.
Everything's fine. Everything's totally great. This is gonna be the best day ever.
Smashed my phone the other night.
And you know how much I love that phone.
And while, yes, it allows them to have a character act with the same exact emotion, mimicry, hand movements as the actor who is used as a reference, it does look overly processed, over sharpened, and overall like an oil painting. So that's a poor shot.
Now that I think about it, he's not usually the nicest.
Pop music rots your brain. My privacy policy prevents bathroom entry. My ultra-sensitive microphones indicate you are not engaged in elimination activity.
It's the small techniques from traditional filmmaking that make this film work. So you combine a shot of a robot doing a thing and then her reacting with some emotion on her face. This way you establish relationships with the characters. In the behind the scenes of that film, we learned they spent around $1,000 of credits to actually make it. They showed the shots that they never used because they were too crazy or they just didn't work because it's AI, it's a little bit of a slot machine. However, that is not too dissimilar from traditional filmmaking. You would always have multiple takes of the same shot. Nobody expects this to be perfect in the first try. That is the part of the experimentation. That is the part of the creative process of making a film. Making long-form video with AI really benefits from knowing filmmaking workflows from the past. You first create your characters, you define them, you define the look, you experiment. Then they have the script with a natural setup, pain point, and resolution. The major benefit of this new process versus something that they would have had to do even 2 months ago, they can keep iterating on this film and get the final quality shots up until the day of release. Usually you would have storyboarded the whole film, so you would have created a frame by frame idea of what the film would look like, but up until you shoot, edit it, and show it to people, you wouldn't know whether it works or not. Here, you can start assembling the film from the first frame, from the first kernel of an idea that you have in your mind, and you can keep iterating and changing the edit at the same time. Pre-production has become post-production. Everything is now blended in one. If you showed this to somebody 2 years ago and said that none of this exists in real life, speaking of blown minds, at the beginning of the video I told you that usually you get 5-second videos, so doing something like a long take from Birdman or Adolescence or the newest show Studio is kind of a problem. You always need to cut after 5 seconds, which is kind of forcing your hand to have very dynamically edited movies. But, and you knew this was coming, I got an example. Somebody created a shot that lasts for over 30 seconds unbroken. Is it perfect? No. Is it impressive?
Okay.
Towards the end, we can see that this shot keeps falling apart because the character starts changing after he turns around. For a second, he's got sunglasses. But overall, this shot is setting the stage for different levels of storytelling that are being unlocked with every new model release. And yes, we had multiple ads utilizing the first and last frame generation, so they seemed like seamless cuts, but they never really stayed within one continuous latent space. Here's an example.
Mark Diaz from Brooklyn, otherwise known as Glider Man, is no more. The terrible news comes to us in a vicious public display on social media.
You can't die if you're already dead.
You don't look dead to me, and your rent is past due.
The police commissioner has no comment on how to react to the growing level of criminal activity.
Glider Man took out our men. He has our money. Kill him now!
Director Dave Clark did an amazing job here of actually editing the clips together. So he's not just pasting them 5 seconds one after another. He's telling a story, and he's cleverly masking the imperfections by showing the lines of the screen when showing the news, so you don't really pay attention to the imperfect lip sync.
Now you can join the rest of your pathetic family at the bottom of the Hudson.
Get your ass up!
The lighting in between the shots and the color grading is pretty consistent, so I do believe that these guys are looking down at him and then he is trying to look up. It is believable that everybody is in the same space between the shots. I don't want to spoil the whole trailer for you because it's really good and I would love for you to support other creators, so go and watch that full thing. But what you can pay attention to is the consistency of the main character and how by adding a little bit of music, a little bit of sound effects, and actually crafting a storyline, we see the AI video come to life. You cannot tell me that you will never care for these characters. And even if you are the most stubborn AI skeptic, general audiences are way more forgiving than you think. Try to watch any TV-made superhero show and look at the visual effects there. Look at the storytelling. Look how cringe it sometimes gets. But people like it because the story is good, because they follow the characters. They want to know what happens next. And I believe that this is a great proof of concept for a show that could actually be made in the future.
Glider, man. It's about time we get some help around here.
I love the police officer reaction to the glider man. It is very reminiscent of Spider-Man just slinging past a police car and, you know, the officers eating donuts and reacting to it. It is a nice callback to old school comic book storytelling. The physics are a little bit clunky here and there, but the characters, thanks to VO3, now can express emotions and are connected to the voice that is also emotional. So you don't have that disconnect that we had a couple of months ago where, yes, the image would show one thing, but then the audio would be completely detached, so your brain would prevent you from connecting the dots. I am extremely impressed by going from one shot to another and maintaining that same character's face with the mask, colors of his suit, of the street, of the sky, everything just matches the previous frame. I also like some of the creative choices. Usually you wouldn't have a handheld wide-angle camera that close to the actor, but the fact that AI interprets stuff this way helps to make it pretty unique and original. 80% of why this works is because of the editing and because of the storytelling of the director. Otherwise, it would have been, again, a compilation of 5-second clips. Whereas right now, I actually want to see this made. I want to watch this film. There are many more of these to come in the future. And as always, the differentiating factor between AI slop and actual films is going to be storytelling. This has always been the case. Anybody could have written a book in the last 20 years, but how many of them have actually risen to the status of a classic? Same with films, even blockbuster movies with $300 million to make them, and with an army of researchers, storytellers, they also get bad reviews. People do not connect with the characters. So there's always going to be a good and a bad movie coming from real world or AI. But for the first time ever, a single director with a strong enough vision, grit, and $1,000, they can make a video that looks like Hollywood. Is it going to be perfect? No, but it might find its niche audience that's big enough so they can go and pitch to a studio. They can say, hey, I made this. This is what it's going to look like. These are the emotions I'm going for. And the audience is loving it. People are clamoring for me to actually make this film. So we had gimmicks, then short form, useful for ads, and now we're at the level of a short film. Within a couple of months, we should see the first feature-length movies produced using this tech. And I, for one, couldn't get more excited. See you in the next one.